Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. So in this video, I want to review the Nintendo Switch 2 1 year after release. Yes, it has now been over a year since the Switch 2 has launched. It hit its 1 year anniversary a few days ago, so I am a little late, but I still wanted to get this video out regardless. Now, I've made some Switch 2 videos in the past, primarily when I unboxed it, and I did a review back in February telling you guys my experience with it 1 month after owning it. And the video did relatively well, but I did get some comments that, did give me a bit of feedback that said that, hey, maybe this video should have been out, would have been better for something in like July or something. And I tried to make that review as opinionated as possible, but I think, some facts that people already knew, I guess, just kind of slipped in there, so it didn't sound as opinionated. But this one, this isn't going to be an opinionated review. Well, it'll be a mix of that and I guess what other people think now that the system has been out for over a year. So what I want to get into primarily is how's the design holding up, game library, and amongst other things, because I think those are the most important things to talk about, and also the hardware. How's the hardware holding up? And so without further ado, let's get started. So again, it's now been over a year since the Switch 2 launched. It launched a year ago on June 5th, 2025. So yeah, I am a little late as of recording this. It is June 7th, and depending when you guys are seeing this, it is still a couple days late, but still better late than never. At least I'm not, too late, just like by a few days. So first, let's talk about the design of the Switch 2 and how it's held up over a year later, because I feel like that was one of the biggest changes. Well, not I feel like, it was one of the biggest changes with the Switch 2, as it got a lot bigger than the previous Switch models we had, which was the LCD ones and even the OLED ones. They got a lot bigger, much cleaner screen. We got 1080p. We got new Joy-Cons, which were much larger and had magnets on them. So I feel like that's probably the most important part of the design that, people want to know how it's holding up a year later, primarily because with the Switch 1, only a few months after it launched, there was a lot of reports of stick drift on the Joy-Cons, which, if you've experienced stick drift before, it's not fun at all. And thankfully, based off what I've seen, there are no reports of any stick drift on the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, which is good. Now, me personally, I haven't experienced it either, but I've only had the console for about 5 months. But if you look around on Google, a lot of people haven't really experienced it. In fact, I wasn't really able to find any posts about stick drift on the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, which means that Nintendo designed it very well, and I guess they learned from their last mistake, which is good. Now, of course, well, at least to me, this isn't a big deal, but I know to everybody else it is. The Joy-Con colors are still very lackluster, as they only have the colors inside the magnets and inside the joysticks, which, not ideal, considering the Switch 1 Joy-Cons had more colors. And yeah, we did get a updated color release back in February, but again, only on the magnets and on the inside, which a lot of people do not like. We'll talk about other things that probably still haven't held up the best in terms of this console, but let's keep going on with the positives. Now, me personally, I think the magnets were much better. Now, I'm not going to ramble on about every little thing because I feel like we already did that in my last video. If you want to see that, link in the description. But I feel like magnets are a lot easier to remove than the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. I made a point about this in my last video that it's a lot quicker, and I feel like a lot of people definitely appreciate that as well. Now, I, along with a bunch of other people, thought that the magnets would make the Joy-Cons break a lot easier, but Nintendo actually did a pretty good job at designing them, where even a strong, pull, if you try to pull it really hard without pushing the button on the back, it would not fall off that easily. Now, if you slam it, probably it will, and I think people have concerns about those because there's probably going to be a lot of kids who own this system, but in general, it's not an issue at all. It's not as problematic as we thought it would be. Actually, not problematic at all, for that matter. I think a lot of us appreciate that we finally have an HD screen on the actual console itself, because the Switch 1 only had 720p when playing in handheld mode, and you could go up to 1080p in dock mode, but 720p by 2026 is not ideal. So we have 1080p on the actual handheld system, and if you want to go in dock mode, you can actually go up to 4K. And you also have HDR, which, I mean, HDR isn't too big of a deal, but 4K on a supported TV, I think that is pretty cool. Even though I don't use 4K, I know a lot of people do, so it's good for them, and nice that Nintendo finally added that, so that's definitely held up well as well. Again, I don't really have much to talk about in terms of design. I just wanted to touch on the Joy-Cons, but I'll touch on some other things as well, like the kickstand, the much bigger kickstand. I'm pretty sure, I know I like it a lot, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people appreciate it a lot. Although it is, you know, a little similar to the Switch's OLED kickstand, but improved in some ways, so it's good. And also, I guess the top USB-C port is also pretty nice too, although I have never used it because I haven't traveled with this thing yet. But I'm sure for the people who have, you know, it's nice to have. I know there's also mouse controls, which was introduced with the Joy-Cons, and there are some uses for it, but honestly, I feel like a lot of people don't even use them, because they're just, I mean, it's a nice little feature to have, but it doesn't really have any practical use, so I'm not really going to talk much about them, but I mean, they are there if you want to try them. Alright, now moving on to the hardware, which was another significant upgrade with the Switch 2 over the Switch 1. And it is much, much better over a year later. So when the Switch 1 launched 9 years ago, which, yikes, I can't believe 2017 was 9 years ago. It didn't have the most powerful hardware, even for the time, but you know, because the games weren't all too powerful, I guess it was fine. But as time went on, you know, we started to see more titles, more third-party titles, and you would start to see the age of the Switch's hardware. And confidently, I can say the Switch 2 did a much better job in terms of the hardware. It is much faster. It runs games a lot better. Even the upgrade packs, you know, just those alone are also significantly better. But I feel like, you know, there is still a bit of room left for improvement there, because I feel like some games don't fully run at 30 FPS, or at 60 FPS, my bad. And it's not the Switch 2's hardware's fault. I feel like it's just Nintendo doesn't allow it to. For example, and this is just a Switch 2 upgrade pack, and from the things I have seen, if you guys have seen any games that actually, like, you know, do run at 60 FPS that, you know, I thought couldn't run it, let me know. But for example, the Animal Crossing New Horizons Switch 2 upgrade pack, which we got back in January. So it did bring some better graphics and much, much faster loading times, which I noticed a lot as a heavy Animal Crossing player. But it's still only capped out at 30 FPS, which I don't understand why. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, well, it's Animal Crossing. Why would you really want 60 FPS on it, or why is it a big deal? I mean, it honestly isn't too much, but when you think about it, the GameCube and Wii versions of Animal Crossing could run at 60 FPS. So wouldn't it be nice if, you know, even after 25 years, we get 60 FPS? I just think it would be a lot nicer. But not a big deal, but it is, like, you know, something that I feel like has to be mentioned because this is a Switch 2 upgrade pack. Another game, now this isn't exclusively a Switch 2 title, this is a Switch 1 title, but I feel like Nintendo could have still done a little better. Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. Now I know this game has only been out for 2 months, but that one's also capped out at max 30 FPS, and I don't know why. Now, I know eventually we are going to get a Switch 2 upgraded pack for this game, which probably will bring 60 FPS options, because we did get Red Dead Redemption 1 Switch 2 upgrade, which did bring 60 FPS. So probably eventually we will get that for Tomodachi Life. Again, the game has only been out for 2 months. It's too soon to say, but I feel like we will get that eventually with a 60 FPS upgrade version. But I feel like, I don't know why Nintendo does this, where they leave all the best part exclusive to the Switch 2 upgrade packs, but yeah, that's just some things that I've noticed. But overall, in terms of the hardware, it runs pretty well. Even some games like Grand Theft Auto The Definitive Edition run so much better on the Switch 2. Like, it's not even funny. Even those don't have upgrade packs, and they are capped at 30 FPS. Just running them in general, it's not as laggy. Well, it's not laggy at all for that matter. It just feels a little bit because of the frame rate, but overall, it loads so quickly, and I don't really know there's any problems with it. The Switch 1 had so much problems with GTA. it would take forever to load. It would stutter. Textures would not load, and there was just, I made a whole video about that like 3 years ago, which were still present up until I got my Switch 2 a few months back. But yeah, hardware wise, it is great. It's doing so much better. Now, it is still slightly behind what's out now on the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. I think it was on par with, I believe, a PS4 Pro, which, yeah, that sounds pretty old. But it is a lot better for lighter games, I guess, whatever the Switch 2 offers. I mean, some titles like Cyberpunk 2077 do run pretty well on the Switch 2. Not as good as like on actual other consoles, but it does run good on the Switch 2, which is good to know, because I know that's a very heavy game, and there's some other ones as well. But overall, in terms of the hardware, it's holding up much better than the Switch 1, but that's only a year in. When we really noticed it with the Switch 1, where it was aging, was a lot of years down the line, so we'll have to see maybe 5 years down the line and see how the hardware holds up, but so far, it's pretty good. And again, Nintendo doesn't put the most powerful things in their consoles because, these aren't meant for hardcore gaming machines for heavy games like the PS4 or Xbox. We just kind of use these for light games. Even though I know Nintendo does throw in some heavy titles in there, it's mostly used for like light games like Mario and stuff like that. Speaking of Mario, let's talk about the game library. So initially when I made my review back in February, I think some games were out, but now there's actually been a few more that have been coming out in the last couple of months. And compared to last year when the Switch 2 came out, there are a lot more games. It still feels a little lackluster, but I feel like Nintendo will definitely get this good within the next couple months. But right now, we actually do have a lot more games on Switch 2. There is now Star Fox, there's Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which just came out, Pokemon Pokopia, which I believe people say resembles a lot like Animal Crossing, but I don't have that game, so I can't say for sure. There's other games like Mario Tennis Fever. Did I say Fever? That didn't sound well. Kirby Air Riders, and of course the existing ones that we already had, Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. There's also some other ones, like we got a Hyrule Warriors game. And of course, the Switch 2 upgrade packs, like I've already mentioned, there is Animal Crossing, there is Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Mario Party Jamboree, there's some other Switch 2 versions like Pokemon Legends, Z2A, a bunch more. So in terms of the game library, it's improving, and of course with the Switch 2 upgrade packs that we have, but I feel like there is still a little bit of room for improvement. Right now, everybody wants a new 3D Mario game, and even though Donkey Kong Bonanza is a 3D game and it has a Mario character, I don't think it's quite what people were expecting. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying DK Bonanza is a bad game. I've played it, it's a good game, but I feel like people want a little more. But I'm not being ungrateful or selfish or anything like that. I'm just saying, alright? DK Bonanza is a good game, but I feel like other people want just Mario, because that's what we grew up with. But overall, game library-wise, it's not doing too bad. There's still a little bit of room for improvement, but it is way better than it was over a year ago. And of course, there's a bunch of other third-party games as well, like I mentioned, Cyberpunk 2077 and a bunch more. So definitely maybe another year down the line, we will see something better. Possibly a new Smash Bros. I know some people want to see a new Smash Bros. But I know a lot of people are okay with the current one, Ultimates, which does run on Switch 2, which is great. But I don't know, some other games people want, like a new Animal Crossing. Other games amongst there as well. We probably will see some as well. Some big titles come out later within the next year. And one of the more recent ones, which isn't a Switch 2 exclusive, it's also on Switch 1, but I feel like I should throw it in regardless. Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, which just came out 2 months ago. It was a long-awaited release that everybody's been waiting since the 3DS game came out over 12 years ago, and now it's on Switch. You can play it on Switch 1 and Switch 2. I decided to throw this one in there because this is a very popular game right now, and a lot of Switch 2 owners are also playing it, so yeah, also with the backwards compatibility, you can play a lot of your Switch 1 games on here, even if they don't have the Switch 2 upgrade pack, which is awesome. There are some that don't work. You have to check Nintendo's website for that. But overall, like 99.9% of your games will work just fine on Switch 2. Now let's talk about some bad things, because there are still quite a bit. I did bring this up in my last video, but I'm gonna bring it up again just because this is a full year later review. So let's take a look at still what hasn't held up great on the Switch 2, and probably the most controversial reason that, well, why the system is controversial in the first place, and that's price. It is still absurdly expensive. You still have to pay $450 for the system. That doesn't sound like too much considering what the Switch 1 costed. And there's also the upgrade packs, which will cost you $500, but the game still costs a bit over. Some goes through $60, which is I think that's the minimum accepted price now, I guess, or the max, I guess. I don't even know. But some still go for $70 to $80, which is quite absurd. And all of other accessories are also ridiculously expensive, like the Switch 2 Pro controller, which I think goes for $80 to $90. I'm not looking right now at the price, but I know it's absurdly expensive. Joy-Cons are also, I believe, the same price. Actually, I think they're more expensive than the Pro controller. I think the Pro controller is $80, the Joy-Cons go for $90. And there is no, I don't think there is a free repair program like there is for Switch 1, so if you damage those, you either gotta pay however much Nintendo charges to fix it, which I'm not sure how much it costs, or buy a new pair, and that's gonna cost you $90, which is absolutely crazy. So that's just the thing. The price of the system, games, and accessories hasn't held up the best. Also, the virtual game cards thing, I know that also has held up terribly as of like the past year. Even though I've gotten used to it and a lot of people have gotten used to it as well, I don't think they want to get used to it, and they don't like the concept of that, because as soon as the online servers for this go down in the next 10-15 years, however long it takes, then, you know, any digital game you bought will no longer work. Especially once the eShop shuts down too, because now the 3DS eShop, for example, if you bought games on there, digital games, you probably can't access them anymore. I actually don't know. I don't have any digital games on the 3DS, so I don't know for sure. But I know that's why people do not like the virtual game cards right now, because then you won't be able to use this once the servers go down in like 10-15 years. Even, and not just for digital games, physical games as well, because once you insert a brand new game, you still have to insert the virtual game card, which I don't know why. Why for physical games? I get it for digital games, but why for physical games? Like, the more you think about it, it kind of starts to sound a little greedy there. I don't know. But it's something a lot of people don't like. And that's not exclusive to the Switch 2. The Switch 1 has the same thing. But, you know, I feel like it is worth mentioning because it is still part of the Switch 2's lifespan here. And is also a feature. So I feel like it's worth including as well. So price and the virtual game card thing are probably the only things I could really think of that hasn't held up too well. Now, let me bring up one more thing. This is a little bit irrelevant, although it is part of the Switch 2. The game share, or not game share, but the ability, however the hell it was called, I already forgot, to join the voice calls and connect the webcam as well. I don't know, I know some people have used it, but I don't think the majority of people really use that, in all honesty. I think it was called game share. I think I did get it right. I'm not sure. No, game chat, I think. Sorry, I'm not looking online right now, so I'm just kind of talking off the back of my head what I have. This is not scripted, but I know that people do not use that because there's just better options for voice chat and calling your friends, like Discord, which that's what's being used right now. I don't think, but I know some people have used it. I've seen like streamers use it, like DashEXP, Burleezy, other people, but I feel like the average person doesn't really own that because the webcam itself also costs a bit of money as well. So yeah, that hasn't held up the greatest, I don't think, either. I don't know, I feel like that part I'm not looking too much into because it's kind of useless. I mean, it's cool to have, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a lot of people don't use it, so that's why I don't know much about it. I don't even bother looking too much into it. So what's my final verdict on the Switch 2 1 year after release? I think it's a good console. I think Nintendo did alright with it. It's not a Wii U type situation because the Wii U, you know, I feel like it could have done well. It's just Nintendo didn't do the best in marketing it because a lot of people were just confused. They just thought it was a different Wii. And I guess you could kind of say a little bit the same for the Switch too. People will think it's just a different Switch. Oh, and that is what it is, but I feel like Nintendo did a little bit better with the marketing here, because so far it's not doing anywhere, or it's not doing bad at all. Compared to the Wii U, I think this thing has already sold more units in 1 year than the Wii U has in its entire lifespan. I actually do not know. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but based off what I'm seeing, that the Switch 2 is doing much better than the Wii U. It's a good console. It has a lot of good hardware, much better hardware than the Switch 1. Its library of games is expanding for sure, and we'll see more within the next year or two, or however much longer. And we do have some nice titles now. Again, Mario Kart, we have Pokemon, Pokopia, a bunch of other games, the ones I just mentioned. Even some Switch 1 games, like right now, Tomodachi Life. You know, you can play that if you want to be out of pocket with your Mii characters. But it's a good system overall. I just still think the pricing, it's still a little stupid. I mean, $500 for the bundle is crazy. I mean, yeah, you're paying less than you would actually if you were to get the system by itself and then buy the game on itself. You'd pay a little over like $530, and it's still a lot of money though. So if you want this console, just be prepared. You have to dish out a bit of money. Even games and accessories are still crazy expensive. But I feel like price is the only reason this system is controversial. But when I say it's worth buying, that depends, because if you have a Switch 1 right now and you're okay with it, you don't need to upgrade. If you want to upgrade, go for it, I guess. And if you don't have a Nintendo Switch at all, then absolutely buy the Switch 2. It will be worth it in the long run, although you also could get a Switch 1 used as well. But that's really up to you. But I definitely would say now, with the library of games expanding and all that, I think the Switch 2 is a little worth more buying now than a year ago. Especially because, well, actually, now that I am on the subject of that, in my last video, I did mention that there were rumors that a Switch 2 price increase was possible to happen this year. Now, as much as I hate to say it, that rumor has become a reality. So they will start, so prices already have gone up in Japan as of May 25th, but they will start going up in the United States, Canada, and in Europe on September 1st of this year. They will bump up by $50. So now the Switch 2 console alone will cost $500. So if you want to Switch 2, if you've been waiting around for a while, get it now, because then you'll be paying a lot more, or a little bit more, in the next couple months. So unfortunately, what we did not want is happening, but it's not effective yet. Unless you live in Japan, then it already happened. But if you live in the US, in Canada, or in Europe, it's gonna happen eventually. It's not happened yet, but it will. I actually don't know about other places like Mexico and I don't know, other places. I'd Google that up just to be safe, but price increase is happening, unfortunately. And I know part of it, I think it might be because of the whole RAM situation. I forgot what the other reason was, but I know that's part of it. So in terms of price-wise on the Switch 2, like I still say, it's more worth it now compared to a year ago, just because there's a bit more games. But just keep in mind, you might have to dish out a bit of money. And if you wait till after September 1st, you'll be dishing out a little bit more money than you had probably planned. Though it's probably likely you could find a little bit of these consoles now used on eBay. But it really depends for how much cheaper are they going to go for compared to if you buy them brand new. So, and keep in mind, because the Switch 1 is only a year old, I doubt like a lot of people are going to want to sell it. Unless they just didn't want it because they didn't think it was, worth it, then. But probably ones you will find might not be in the best condition. They might be insanely scratched. Something might not be working. So if you do want to buy this used, I would just be extremely careful. Because this console is so new, it's very likely you could get scammed here. So it's better to just buy it off brand new. So at the end of the day, whether or not you want to buy it is up to you. This is just my opinion. I do think it is more worth it now if you want to play some Mario games. If you don't have anything at all, get it. Just don't even question it. Or just buy a Switch 1 used if you want. But keep in mind that the Switch 1 is over 9 years old and it is aging. And eventually Nintendo will end support for it. Not yet. It's not gonna happen yet, but it will happen eventually. But that's why I just say, you know, in the long run, you want something future-proof, just get the Switch 2. But alright, that's it for my review. I've been yapping on forever. Wow. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So that's the Switch 2, 1 year after it's out. Let me know what you guys think. If you've owned the Switch 2 since day one, since it released, let me know. How's it working for you? If you're thinking of buying one, I don't know, just let's have some fun in the comments. If you guys are thinking of getting a Switch 2 with your experience so far, I like listening to y'all's stories about, you know, experiences with electronics, and some of my other videos I've done that as well. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see my review I did in February, where I just kind of talked about my personal experience with the Switch 2 1 month after owning it, well, that'll be in the description as well. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys want to check out any other videos I have, check out my channel. I have a bunch of other videos. I do a bunch of gaming, primarily not on my Switch 2. Even I do Animal Crossing live streams, music live streams, so I just leave it in the background. But right now I'm just doing a bunch of GTA Let's Plays, so if you want to check those out, I would appreciate that. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.